Test, test, test. Alright. Switch it over. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wednesday Night Cooking School with me, Widget33, Widget, Andy B, whatever it is you'd like to call me. Hey, Odors. How's it going, my man? It has been a day. It's been a day for sure. Camera's looking okay, though, which is good. We're looking much better with our lighting. Really happy with that. Today is not going to be probably as long of a day as we normally do. Tonight's is a little bit simpler in the fact that you just kind of have to let it go. We're going to be doing some chicken stock and some beef stock, both with bones from leftovers, whether prepping chicken thighs and setting the bones aside, or I've done a prime rib with some beef bones and a couple of steaks. So I've got something to do with beef and a chicken. So we're going to do both of those. Right, the lighting is pretty good now. And there's a little bit of shadow play, but for the most part, the colors look good. You can see me defined against the background. The stove is lit up with that nice light. You know, we don't have our LEDs yet, but much, much better than it was when we first started. And the camera quality on the face cam is way better as well. It's a huge upgrade from the phone, which I was using the Elgato phone link, but I may bring that back for another camera if I want to do something outside, which we're still considering. But that's probably going to be a little more towards the spring when it warms up a little bit. We've gone back into our second winter at this point in San Diego. We're back to our mid 60s, maybe 70 during the day, and then like 40s at night. So, yeah. Agreed. But tonight, like I said, it's going to be pretty easy. Exclamation point menu has the stock recipe. We're going to be using the New York Times as our goby. I've got a printout of it. We're going to do basically the same thing with the chicken and the beef. Basically 4 kind of bones, or 4 pounds or so, is roughly in that range. Bay leaves, carrots, onions, celery, peppercorns, bay leaves. I don't have this thyme sprigs. I could not find fresh thyme. I swear that I had some. Let me double check, because I think I have some. I swore I had some. Maybe I threw them out. That must have been what happened. Spaghettis. Other dips. No, we must have thrown it out. So, we don't have fresh thyme, but we do have bottled. We've got our fresh parsley, and then a tablespoon of white, basically vinegar to help it kind of stay around. So what this is going to do, I'm going to use probably the chicken for Sunday's dinner, which is going to be part of a risotto with Parmesan. I'm going to use it for that. It'll probably be accompanied by something else. It won't be just the risotto for dinner, obviously, but that's going to be the main dish using the chicken stock that we're making tonight. So, trying to build it up, trying to make it so that Wednesdays kind of lead into Sundays with what it is. So I'm trying to learn something and then apply it. It's the best way that I can think to do it. And I think it's a pretty good route to go. I'm excited for that. I'm also trying to get the Wednesdays consolidated down. I want to do some video editing and get them to be like 7 or 8 minute videos that I can post either on YouTube or Instas or somewhere, and just have a quick overview of like what we went over on Wednesday, what we learned, some key points obviously, and some editing, but I'm not quite there yet since Handy Enough. I'm still working my way through Premiere. We'll see how we get there. And that's a time scheduled slot, so I'm still trying to schedule it in where I know I have the time to get it done. So excuse me, I am parched today. Very, very dry. But I think with this, let's get to slice in some carrots and onions and kind of get things going. And we can flip over from there. So let's go. Let's go counter main. Put me in the little guy. Alright. So, look at your main guys. We've got our celeries. And we got some carrots. Usually I just use leftovers, and I'll show you some of what we're going to put in the pot when we get there. Trash bag set up while I'm thinking about it. We've got our parsleys. We've got our onions. There we go. Looking all right. Looking all right. So like I said, unfortunately we're using the bottle time. Not a lot we could do. They just didn't have any of the local Sprouts that I went to immediately available, which was like 15 minutes before we started streaming. It was a last minute one, of course. So we're gonna need bay leaves. We're gonna get our water. We've got our onions. We got our celery, our black peppercorns. Steal them out of there. We got our parsley and then our white wine vinegars. That's at the very, very last. I have white wine vinegars? Don't think I do. Guess I should have looked at that before I went to the store. What can we sub? There's got to be a sub for that. I think we can just go with a regular vinegar. White wine substitutes. You could use red wine vinegar. I don't really want to. Apple cider vinegar works as well. We'll probably use the apple cider vinegar. It's only a tablespoon. I think the apple cider will be just fine with it. Yep. I don't think that's Shaoxing rice cooking wine. That won't work. Apple ciders. Black vinegar. It happens. We're gonna go with that guy. Hey Lemon, how's it going? New lighting? Yes. We worked around with it. I had some existing umbrella lights, and I made kind of a box guy for one. And for right now, I've got a ring light under the stove to kind of get some lighting. We're waiting on the LEDs. I ordered 2 strips, one for under the stove, and then one to kind of accent the counters to kind of change it up a little bit. It's getting there. It's looking a little bit better. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing okay. We're just getting ready to start prepping some veggie cut-ups and bring out the scraps for our stock. We're gonna do chicken and beef, and then hopefully our chicken will turn out okay, and we'll use that for Sunday night's dinner, in which we're gonna try and do another risotto. All right, let me find my knife and get that warmed up real quick. chilling, had a bit of a nap. Yeah, you've had a couple days, and like you say, it's draining physically and other things, and naps are always a good point for those. Oh, we're losing carrots here. We're losing carrots. All right, so they say about 2 celery stalks, halved length crosswise. We'll go with a little more because this is basically about what we have left in there. I'm gonna try and split them up evenly into 2. Try and keep it somewhat even. Let's see, now this guy I'm just gonna put into 1. Doesn't have to be exact. Basically, yeah. It is the mirepoix, if you will. The celery, carrots, and the onions. So 2 each. With a lot of these though, like they don't roast it. I've read some where they actually roast the veggies. I've done that before. I know like pho, like you have to roast the onions and the bones and stuff. This one actually is for, on the chicken, it's calling for the raw chicken bones, just to be boiled in. But for the beef one, we have I saved the ribs from the roast beef that we had for Christmas. So those have been in the freezer, plus a couple different steak bones and stuff to go in there that were not cooked. They were raw, so. Right, and that's what I was thinking. I think the beef ones I'm gonna roast up so that they're okay, and then the chicken one, I think we'll go raw with those. Same with the onions and the carrots and stuff. We won't do any roasting on that, so we can get kind of a twofer in there. I need to make sure I have another big enough stock pot to do the beef guy. I think we do. We'll worry about it when we cross that bridge. Alright, let me throw my apron on real quick. Trying to keep the jeans clean, if you will. Alright. Hope everybody is having a good Wednesday. I know Wednesdays are that midweek, that hump day, if you will. Let's move these to the side while we do this. Go in here, actually. Perfect. I know for me, it was a busy one. A couple meetings today. Trying to get some things done. So celery, nothing crazy. Doesn't have to be overly chopped up. I mean, they say, carrots are peeled and halved. Stalks halved crosswise. I cut them into quarters. We'll go with it. It has been a week, right, Doors? We had to cut up our guys there. Oh, we need to peel these, don't we? Did it say peeled? See, this is another one I'm not sure that I agree with, because usually I throw carrot peels and leftover celery and other onion pieces in for most of my stocks, and then I freeze them, and then when I have enough I put it all together in there, and I usually don't have any issues. But I'm gonna follow the recipe, at least on the chicken one, and I'll do what I like on the beef one. Alright, oh, no, did I just see it? I did see it. I am not blind, I promise. The gritties? Maybe, yeah. Now with the chicken one, from what I understand, I want to bring the chicken to the boil, is what they're saying, because they want, obviously it's the raw chicken bones, you're going to have to cook it, but you got to bring it back down to an easy simmer, because that's what keeps it as a clear one. It's not as cloudy, if you will. So we're again trying to be more prepared with our Wednesdays to try and lead it into what we do with Sundays. Kind of using the technique or recipe or whatever it is that we are learning. Really make sure we drive it home. Okay, Okay, so it emulsifies the fats and the solids. Yeah. And that's not what we want. We want the taste, but we don't want the full-on cloudiness with it integrated in. Slippery today. It's one of those days that I'm just definitely glad to be home. It's a crazy world out there sometimes. Smart. It is very smart, right, Doors? Alright, so we're almost done with peeling those, and then we'll get them, what did it say, halved crosswise. Oh no, peeled and halved crosswise, yep, okay. No roast my ghost on those. Cray cray. It is cray cray. I'm telling you. Alright, we're leaving the ends on because that doesn't really matter, so. What does it mean by crosswise? Am I thinking about this wrong? Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. I've been keeping up with that, and the whole, like, the bridge incident and then inside Ottawa is, like, insane. They've had enough generators that, like, made a stage. They're going crazy there. What do we think crosswise means? I think crosswise means lengthwise? Or no, maybe that's not. That would be lengthwise. So I'm going to go with this is going to be crosswise. I guess that's a basic term that I should know rather which one it means. Let's see. Crosswise cut. Right, that's what I was thinking of. So that would be lengthwise usually if it's the long one. So the cross one is just a straight 1, 2 1/2. Alright, so we got our celery, we got our carrots. So we need 2 onions, unpeeled and quartered. Alright. I am going to take a little bit of that outer skin off though. So I'm going to count that as quartered. 1, 2, 3, 4s. Call it a day. And let's see. Teaspoon of black peppercorns. Teaspoon, look at that. Found it right away. That doesn't ever happen. Got some ranch for that. Oh yeah, absolutely. We tried that Alabama white sauce and it was unique for sure. Yeah, it's all. That's what it is, and I think that's the best way about stock. Everything I've ever seen is it's supposed to be the leftovers, the side pieces brought together and kind of using everything, and that's what this is. This is the leftovers from the Super Bowl party, and prepping it from the week before. So trying to use as much of it as possible, trying to get better about our food wastes and those kind of things, and like use them again, which is not always easy, but we try and do what we can. So 4 sprigs of thyme is what it would have been. I think dry thyme is a little more potent than fresh thyme, so I don't think it needs as much of that. So I think I'm just gonna go pinchish. We'll try it. We'll see how she goes. And then 5 parsley sprigs. Not a crazy amount. What am I missing? 2 bay leaves. Trash bowl. Don't want to use that on the beef one, so hold on. Let's get our better bay leaves here. And was that it? I was saying before, it's kind of hard to see. This is the raw chicken from like the chicken thighs and stuff that I've braised here and done over the last month or so. I saved all the bones with some of those skins as well. And you can see there's a couple of half onions in there. I think that's a little bit of basil. So we're just using our scraps basically and trying to make a good stock out of it, but also kind of reuse as much as we can. Just going to have more pizza, need to get a right, and it's a good way to really use it again and make sure you're going to use it, but it doesn't have to be immediately. So it's an easy one. Throw it in a gallon bag. It's about halfway full. Let's see. Let's get it on a scale. Those pizzas did look crazy good though. They had the perfect crunch today. Let's see. 4 ounces. Let's get. Oh, that's right. We don't have to do it on this one. Milliliters. We want pounds. Tear. Yeah, so it's about 3 pounds. We're pretty close. More Doug Judy? Yes. I think that's what they should all be called now. Hey. How's it going?
It's going.
You have a day too?
Oh, sorry.
You're okay. It's been one of those days. We all understand. Alright, so let's get water. A big jug. Let me get my big jug. Our camera, that'll work too. We get our big old 4-quart Cambro. So it's gonna fill. Probably one of these is what it'll be stocked in when I'm done. I picked these up. There's 4 of them or so with lids at Costco, like $10. Totally worth it. I had to use the filtered water over the city water though. It's just gonna take a minute to fill it up that way. A little slow, but I know you can't see me. It just sounds bad. I think I promised I'm just off screen filling it. I believe it has a shut off too, so I'm gonna have to do it more than once because it'll shut off after like 2 quarts. Oh man, I didn't think it was gonna take this long. Extra slow. Extra slow. We might actually get to 4 quarts on the first one. Oh, I didn't let it go. You worried about it? Yeah. So close. Come on. Alright, so we need 6 quarts of water is what it's going for. I don't know why I can't get the quart and the liter on the same page. They're pretty close. Right? And I should be worried if that were the case. Alright, let's get this in. And that's really not a whole lot. I mean, this is gonna make, I said, probably 3 to 4 quarts of actual stock. We'll see.
I was gifted this at work today.
White wine.
A white wine.
see if we can get it switched over so we can actually see what we're doing now. Now I want to tie these together because I don't want them to get loose. Like, same with the bay leaves almost. Do I have any cheesecloth? I feel like I want to wrap it up in a cheesecloth.
I don't think we have any.
We don't. Brownie bays. We got so much different stuff, but I know we need to take stock and see what we need to go get at the chef store. Yeah, right, we're gonna have to go with it all in full force. So let's get our chickens and other stuff in from our bag and switch over. Boom. Nope. Close. Getting a little better. There's our chickens. Let's get our veggies. Our onions. Bay leaves. Couple sprigs. You know, I am going to tie these up though. I'm going to tie them up. I just don't want to lose them in there. I want to be able to pull them out easier. So I'm just going to tie them up. You don't have to. I'm doing it just because I can. There you go. Just a little tie up. There's the twine. Let it go. Get our sprig in there. Get it stirred up. Strange at all when it's all said and done as well. So nothing too crazy to worry about there. Jeez, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things you don't use all the time, but then when you need it, it's like crap. I should have bought it before. A spriggin. Is that what it's called when you tie them up? I thought, like, I know like when you do like the like thyme and all of them together, it's like a bouquet of herbs or whatever. I can't remember what there's a word for it. Drink. Sorry, it's dry here today. I'm definitely parched. Same? Yeah. Alright, so this is a little more intense guy. So I think I'm just gonna go with this one for now. This has got our nope. I'm an idiot, you can't see. Boom. So this guy has got our raw bones from a couple of strips and some ribeyes. And this is the 3 bones from the back of our roast beef for Christmas. So this guy's been roasted, these have not. But we're gonna throw them all in together when we do our veggie roast as well. Sachet, that's what it is. That's the word I was thinking of. Bouquet garni, but yeah. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So that other bag I'm not going to use. That's another beef one for when I'm ready. Don't need to use it right now though. But let me get a baking tray for our beef stuff. Alright. I guess it should super down so you can actually see, maybe see me. Yep, nope, wrong one. There we go. Alright, let's get these beef bones out. So there's that guy. Been frozen for about, let's say, a month and a half or so. And then we got our raw bones. And I should have put it on the table, but it's all going to the same spot, so I'm just going to leave it for now. And let's put our oven on about 375, 350. Make sure we're empty, no storage. Been known to happen. Right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to quarter this onion. So that'll be good. Can we pull this back? And let's get our... Oh, it's a Chardonnay. Galileo Chardonnay. How are you now? How are you now? Good and you? Not so bad? Good old Letterkenny, gotta love it. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Carrots and these guys. Where did that other onion come from? Did I only use one? Oh, I only used one. I was an idiot. Yep. Forgot I needed 2 onions, not just one. We're on a roll today, that's for sure. Sticky on the bottom of that. Alright. Trash bag. So we're going to do the same thing with our celeries. Leafy stuff is fine too. Let's get our onion done up yet again. So half, half, half. One more. This is a bad view, isn't it? Need to work on this guy. I have the other arm. I need to work on the extenders and get the right height and angle. It's not quite there yet. Makes it a little funky when you're doing stuff. What can I do? Yeah. Oh, see? That. Alright, so we got our onions on there. We're leaving our carrots whole, these guys. We're gonna go towards about that size. Bones. These are our raw guys. Cut these off of New York strips, I believe, that we had done. Oh yeah, they're nice and frozen. This is making me wonder if I'm actually going to get through this guy. I might just have to roast it and cut it up afterwards, because it's a honking guy. A real honker. So there we go. So our chicken is already in. Like I said, that one was pretty quick. Waiting on it to boil. We've got it on high. So we want it to boil once, and then we got to bring it down to a simmer. The recipe says 6 to 8 hours, which is quite a long time. So we might not see the end of that one. But I'm going to try and get the beef one done, probably in like 2 hours. I think with the roast beef is going to help it quite a bit. But we'll see what it looks like maybe in an hour or so. But neither one might not be finished by the end of stream just because they do take a little bit longer. And I know you don't want to just watch stock boil. But like I said, I think this is where some nights I might have to do like an additional one afterwards. I'm trying to make some, I think maybe I need to make a little bit of some content. I'm looking at like some 7-minute video kind of things where I want to show Wednesdays, show what it's done in a quicker time frame, and then kind of go from there. Really, Stove? Are we going to town? Are we yelling about it? Is that where we're at? We're that upset about it. Right, Doris? That's what I was thinking. Alright, so let's go with the same things in this guy. You know what? We got these guys too. We're going to use them. We got some gold pearl onions that we're going to use. You know why? Because we can. And this helps me clear out a lot of the stuff that I had in there as well. Plus, this guy should come out pretty good. Did I lose one? Oh yeah, I did lose one. Aha. Get a teaspoon of this black pepper. Now they are going unsalted as well. Not doing the salt in it. I'd rather control the salt in whatever it is that I'm cooking rather than the stock, just cause. You could salt it if you want to, just like you could buy it in the store, I believe, salted or not salted. That choice is up to you. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Flavor Town, here we come. Dang rights. That was one of the few Super Bowl ads I got to see while I was streaming on Sunday. They stole something. I don't even know what the ad was for, and they like took it to Guy Fieri. It was a whole bunch of Guy Fieri's, and he said a new flavor was in town. It was what was it? It was the Budweiser hard colas. It was like a really weird hard cola flavor. Yeah, it was so strange. The commercials are getting weirder and weirder as they go. Yeah, I'll post it in nonsense later. When I get off, I'll post it in the links. It's a really weird commercial for Budweiser and a whole bunch of Guy Fieri's. Yeah, hard cola, like a cocktail. Yeah, it's really strange. He's like, oh, there's a new flavor boss in town or something, and I'm like, what? You have no idea what's going on in the entire commercial. No, I think it's a hard cola, like an actual probably like whatever their alcohol that they're figuring out at Bevmo now or InBev, whoever owns Budweiser now. Yes, they are confusing. I'm not a fan of most of those. They come out too sweet most of the time, and I just can't do it. Not for me. Glad for the people that it's good for. I'm glad it's good for them. It's like the Dad's Hard Root Beer ones. Those ones are not great either. Not a fan of those at all. Okay, so we got our beef stuff basically done up. Our oven is going now. Let's get them in there and get them roasting for a little while. Still waiting on this guy to boil. Switch over so you can actually see that guy maybe. Nope. So it's a little better in there. You can kind of see what's going on. Unsweetened cocktail in a can. Ones that aren't sugary, yeah. I can get past some artificial sweeteners. I don't mind some of it. I don't mind some of the zero sodas every once in a while, but I don't know. So I usually try and go with like carbonated waters from Trader Joe's. The Trader Joe's LaCroix, if you will. And as a kid, I drank a ton of soda, so let me take a look here. We doing all right? Let's get it stirred. Our bones are still sticking together. Alright, we're looking good. Got some goodness going on in there. SodaStream, do you like it? We've looked at it, it's been considered, but I just don't know how effective it is for us, or cost effective. Does it like hold up? Do you need to make some like good stuff on your own? Alright, I'm gonna need another Cambro. So like I said, this is probably about how much we're gonna get out of both of them. So I'm gonna get one more Cambro. And get a lid as well. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? We're missing Cambros here. Maybe up here? might be down at Cambro. That would be yikes. Less waste and less carrying. Very true. Very, very true. I have to look into it then. Tell us how you really feel, Kat. Alright, so we're in the slow process of waiting for that to boil at least once, which will bring it back down at that point. Our ribs and our other stuff are in the fridge right now, or in the oven, roasting, so we're going to use that as our darker stock. We've got all of our stuff set up ready for that, and we'll go from there. I said tonight might not be, I'm running behind, and then we're running with something long, so tonight might not be as long, unfortunately, and I still need to post my schedule from today, which is, it's just been one of those days. But I need to get my schedule up to be ready for Sunday's risotto, and then go from there. We sat down recently and took the time to map some stuff out, planning wise for me anyway, to have at least 5 weeks worth of content thought up, whether it be what recipes kind of to use, not exactly, but at least we have general ideas on things that I want to learn, and then dinners and stuff as we can do them after that. Risotto, yes, I love risotto. Done it a couple of times. The first time wasn't so great, and each time has persistently gotten better. Usually, like I said, I've gotten better with keeping the stock warm enough, editing at a slow enough rate that it has it really time to absorb and get really creamy. And in the good, was it arroz or whatever the rice? I think it's arroz or Oreo rice. I think that's what it is. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember it right this second. Still getting my terms mixed up. That's what we're working on Wednesdays. We're trying to learn, trying to have it nailed down and get better with it. What's a risotto? A Oreo, yes, that's what it is. That's the one that I've used the most. Risotto doors is, you've had it. I've made it a couple of times. It is a rice, a different kind of rice. It's not like a standard white rice, and it's cooked really, really slowly in a stock, basically. It can be flavored with other different flavors that you can add along, and I'll probably add Parmesan to this guy at the end of it. But it's just a rice really slowly cooked with the broth. It gets super it absorbs it and gets a nice thick sauce that kind of coats it. And it gets almost to the point of where it's like, sand at the beach when the wave has just come over and you try to build something with it where it's not quite liquid and it's not quite solid. Risotto kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, that thing. Okay, our chicken bones are starting to break up now. Yep, which is good because they were frozen. Obviously, what's up? Okay. I'm not really making anything for dinner. It's stock tonight, so it is a free-for-all in the normal dinner household. Let me see if I can find my. Did we see my camera? What big brown thing?
No.
Do we use it for painting?
No.
Just like this, down on the bottom of that thing. That's the ones. Those are the ones I'm looking for. I need those back, please. At least one of them, and the lids. We found our missing culprits. They had candy storage in them. Do you know where the other lid is?
No.
Where'd you find this lid?
Looking for that one, but I only grabbed one.
Okay, I'll figure it out. It's all good. We'll get there.
Can I grab one?
Yeah. and then bring them in and strain them out. Could you write down to get another stock pot? I need another stock pot. It's starting to smell really good though because there's stuff roasting and there's stuff in that stock pot going. Things are smelling good. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Alright. Got our water set aside now. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. That's why Tooth will never take your job. But he won't say nothing. Alright, let's see if we can actually fit this into our Dutch oven. I don't think it's gonna work. We might just have to make it a little bit smaller. It might be a 5-quart. Might be a little. Maybe I don't have to go as long. Yeah, that's probably about as much as I'm gonna get in there. Even then, that's cutting it close. And I don't have anything bigger in there, do I? I don't. I wonder how that might work. Hear me out. Could I put it in the crock pot? Because the crock pot would just keep it simmering for the most part. And I can let it run for like 10 hours pretty easy. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Do we risk it? Do we try it? Do we gamble at all? Hope and dream? Space Jam? I don't know. You just gotta send it. Fafo. Is my new emote still not approved? It is still not approved. It has now been 2 weeks on one emote, and I cannot get it approved. Like, it just sits there. Nothing wrong with it. I've got all the things in. I just don't want to approve it. Yep. I don't have the instant upload as of yet. We're still too early in the process. We're getting there. But we'll worry about that at a later time. Let's see. Let's look at this crock pot guy. Let's consider this idea, if you will. Does it have any merit? Could it actually work? That is the question. It could actually work. We might do it then. We're gonna do it. We're changing it up live. We're still sticking to our recipe on the exclamation point menu for the chicken stock, which you can see over here on that screen. So that's still going to town and doing its thing. We're gonna follow the recipe on that, but we're flipping it up a little bit. Instead of doing it because I don't have another stock pot, we're actually gonna do it in a crock pot and let it roll and do its thing, because then I can set it for almost 10 hours, really let it get dark, and then go from there. How we looking? We're roasting up, we're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, yep, that's what we're doing. Let's clear our spots. Alright, so our crock pot is ready to go. That's what we're gonna do. That's what you do live. So we're gonna have 2 stocks, which is gonna be great. I'll save the beef one. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with it just yet. Had a couple considerations, so still unsure. Might break it up into some smaller mason jars and freeze some of it, or I don't know. Let's see how long it can stay for. Refrigerate up to 3 days, and it can freeze up to 3 months. So we could definitely freeze it without an issue. Right? That's what I'm saying. Trying to be smarter about it. Thinking smarter, not harder. Rock hard brain. That's what I'm thinking. But let's see. We're waiting on our beef to roast up there. This has been going about 30 minutes. We still haven't gotten to a boil just yet. It smells delicious though. It smells like chicken soup, honestly. Kinda makes me want chicken soup. Or something with chicken and mirepoix, basically. Because mirepoix is just an amazing 3 set of ingredients. And no garlic in any of this. Just a heads up. You could. Not going to. Alright, we're getting close on that. These are starting to smell good. We'll get those out in just a few moments. We'll get those ribs cut up. We'll get that into the pot and then get things away. So I might wrap it up about 6 o'clock. So like I said, maybe an hour early, just because I don't want to show you continuously boiling water. And unfortunately, this is not a well thought out 2.5 hour stretch. Still working on those. But more importantly, we're learning. I'm enjoying it. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out on your Wednesdays. Trying to step up our culinary game, and I think we're doing pretty good at it. Alright, so our vinegar is going to go in when? They don't actually say when. Bring to a height, then skim off any of the... Okay, add the vinegar after we skim off our foam. So we're looking for our baddie stuff, which you can start to see here. Some of the fat, some of the other stuff, some of that skim. We're going to get that out when the time comes. What are we going to use? Use our coconut. That's what we use. Our spider. And go to town. Try and get most of that fat and other stuff off. Barely another spoon would be good too. Really thinking about it. Or a ladle. Ladle's probably better. We control our scoopage. Just gotta keep an eye on it because it is getting pretty close. And I can also hear these guys going to town. So we're gonna get those out here shortly so we can get the ribs and stuff cut up on them. Let's get this out of the way. So we got a spot to put our roasted veggies and stuff. It's one of those kind of days. Though we are, we're mid-February now. So things are moving pretty fast. I know in our crazy world here for us, the mask mandate is being lifted after today. Not to say that I won't continue to still do it just because you don't know where half these people are doing. Oh yeah. Let's get our bones. I'll show you that. Let me switch over here real quick. Yeah. A little bit of roasting. The good stuff. We gotta get them big bones cut up. There we go. right? I just don't want them as one big mass. They're gonna give us more flavor if we can get them broken down. There's one. There we go. Woo. Right? Oh snap. Oh snap. Alright, let's get them into our crock pots. Alright. Let me switch back so you can see that. Throw our herbs and all of our good stuff in. Let's get the rest of this stuff. Might be pretty close to full on this. I think we are testing the limits of the crock pot at this point. You know, this might also be good for maybe a French onion soup. We haven't done French onion soup yet. Oh yeah. So all just barely fits. Can I show you this? Do you see it just barely fitting? Just barely fits into there. Does the lid fit? Oh, the lid just barely fits with it on there. Hello? 10 hours. There we go. We're entrusting into our crock pot. Get our scraps out of the way. They're not too huge of a mess, but what we've done tonight is we've taken our scraps. We've taken some fresh stuff, obviously, too, but we've taken most of our scraps and our bones that we've been saving in our freezer bags. We're turning around and using it again. We're making some great stock back here. As the chicken stock, you can see it coming up. It's about ready to get skimmed and do its thing. We're going to use that on Sunday night to do our risottos. And then our beef one, like I said, I'll probably do French onion soup. That's what I'm thinking is probably going to be the guy to do. It should have quite a bit of flavor. We are trying it in the crock pot, so it is a little different. We're letting it go for like 10 hours though. We got plenty of roasted bones in there. There's a big chunk of the ribs on the roast from the prime rib on there. Good carrots and onions and celery. All the good mirepoix. Alright, let's get some of this scum off. Trying to keep as much stock in there, trying to get this kind of dirty film off. Keep it clean. seen it come to a boil yet, though. I'm sure there's a way I could like push it down, do it that way, but that might not happen. Oof. Now we're starting to sweat. Chuck this. So I think I'm going to store our chicken stock in this guy because we are going to use it again on Sunday. Our beef stock, like I said, I think we're going to do into our mason jars. I got some out there. Might just can it up tomorrow afternoon. Just because I can use the whole crock pot, just put it into the fridge, let it sit for the day while I'm at work, and then come home and get that piece done. I might try and get set up again so I can actually film it, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I still don't know what I want to do on that, and we're still figuring it out. Just focus it on the more important part, which is trying to learn something for me and for you guys, and figuring out the other stuff as I go. It's a very strange game out there. So much this is lots of gunk. Alright, we're close. Trying to get that scummy stuff off. So that says to do, that's what we're doing. Slowly. Smelling really good though. You got the smell of all the mirepoix going. You can smell the chicken bones roasting up. It's almost to a boil. I can kind of see it bubbling. So we're almost there. Our oven is off, right? Yeah, our oven's off. Good. So once it gets to that boil, I think I'll add just a little bit of water. Bubble Town. Yeah. Sweat Town. That's what it feels like. Yes, it just keeps coming up with this stuff. A little cleaner as it comes along. It's kind of worrying at first. I think we're at our boil point, so we'll come back down now. Yeah. So we're just gonna keep an eye on this. Make sure it's doing its thing. Gonna be boiling for a while, unfortunately. Not a whole lot to show. I wish I had some TV magic to show you. I can show you this. So this is 32 ounces of stock. Which I don't know what that is in quarts, honestly. There's 4 cups. It's basically, I think it's like a quarter of a liter. I think it's a quarter of a liter. We'll have to find out, baby. We'll have to do some magic sometimes. Magic's right. Okay, let's give it one last stir up. Yeah. So it's perfect. We're gonna let it go, let it do its thing. It's on a magic slow boil now, on a nice simmer. It's gonna go, like I said, for about 8 or so hours. Maybe we can go 10. We'll see. I'm not gonna let it go while we're sleeping. Obviously, I'll probably shut it down and then pick it up again in the morning. The crock pot, though, I'll probably let that go all night and just kind of see what it looks like when we come out and call it a day. That one I'm excited for. So we'll really see. So. Samin, thank you for your recipe. New York Times, follow them on that one. It says freeze in 32-ounce yogurt containers. I don't know about that. You can stay home tomorrow to watch it. Yeah, I bet you would enjoy to skip the day of school to come in and watch. Just watch the water boil while you play Valorant and other stuff. I'm sure that would be a dream come true. So let's get these guys out. There's our parsley and stuff. We're just gonna get cleaned up here, as I think we're gonna move on here shortly. So we'll save these as well. We'll figure out something, and then if not, this will go into the freezer bag. Always have gallon freezer bags on hand, just for that kind of thing. Like I said, trying to save the bones, trying to reuse as much of it as we can. Oh, our vinegar. We needed our tablespoon of vinegar. That's what we needed. Not getting any fuller than that on it.
100%. It's like borderline about to just.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost all over the place.
Cutting it close.
We are cutting it close on that one. That's why you gotta FAFO around. Hopefully we'll get our FAFO emote one day. Someday. Maybe. Probably not. Probably not. That's okay. Alright, let me switch over. Look at me, I'm all sweaty now. It's warm in my kitchen. Whew. Alright, so we got our stock going. It's going pretty good. We got our other stock going. Looking alright. Yeah, stonks. Stonks all the way, my man. Like I said, this is going to turn into a good risotto. Parmesan for Sunday night's dinner with our chicken stock right there. Our beef one is probably, like I said, I think a French onion soup is what I'm going to do. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. Fafo around with some French onion soup. But I think with that, since I have to let them go for quite a bit, I didn't prepare anything else. I figured it was going to be a little bit shorter stream. But I'm going to use this time to go and get my schedule updated, get that posted to the socials. Did I put a socials command? I don't remember if I did or not. I know I got my socials rotating, but there they are. So there's the socials. If you have a moment, hit me up, follow me. I'm usually on Instagram. I'm trying to post to Twitter more as well. Posting what we're doing, posting our schedule, and doing that kind of thing. So give us a follows, and I think that's where I'm going to do it. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid, though. Or at least go check out. See if anybody's on tonight. Say Vanny is on. There's not really anybody on. Alright. Sometimes it be like that. Alright, I'm just gonna shut it down there then. No raid tonight. We'll try and raid on Sunday. I think Totes is on Sunday, so I think I'm gonna try and raid her. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. take it easy till next time, alright? Later, homies.